Good afternoon. This is a special meeting of the Arts and Culture Commission. Today is Thursday, August 17th, 2023. Seeing a quorum, this meeting is officially called to order. Madam Recording Secretary, please take roll call.
Commissioner McNair,
Here.
Commissioner Russell,
Here.
Commissioner Wu,
Here.
Commissioner Lopez Guerra,
Here.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Here.
Commissioner Rivera.
Here.
Quorum.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. At this time, members of the public may address the Arts and Culture Commission regarding any non-agenda items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the committee. No action may be taken on any non-agenda items unless authorized by law. Madam Recording Secretary, does the public have any comments they wish to share with the commission? And please know you have 3 minutes to speak.
Veronica Gomez.
Hi, everyone. I just came to say hi to everyone, and I'm so happy to see Mrs. Lopez Guerra and I see Mrs. Russell, which we saw each other at the July 4th celebration in Centennial Park. So I'm here just to say hi to everyone and extend an invitation to an event that we are hosting with the Morelense, Expo Morelense again in November 5th, and we are targeting for Centennial Park again. So I'll be happy to see you guys again over there. And that's all I have to say. Thank you. So happy to see you.
Could you please tell us what the event is?
Yeah, Expo Morelense USA. And we decided to move our date from September to November. So we're going to kind of commingle to the Dia de Muertos celebration. So we'll be happy to have you there. Thank you.
Victor.
Hello, Arts Commission. I wanted to come here to talk about a couple of things. First of all, we have our second annual Smart Walk South Main Art Retail Technology Resource Fair happening at the Musicians Union Saturday from 11 to 5. We have drones, video game developers. The Musicians Union will be there, so that's careers in music. We're celebrating Rickenbacker. I don't know if you know who Rickenbacker is, a guitar and bass manufacturer. They've been in Santa Ana, founded in Santa Ana, and they've been here since 1964. So every bass or guitar that you've seen played by The Who, the Smiths, the Bangles, Creedence, Yes, Rush, they've all been made and instruments made right here in Santa Ana. So we want people to know what's going on. Also, we are starting a gallery, Masada at the Gallery, which will specialize in augmented reality and immersive art, which we're opening in October next to our Space TVGBs. And we'll be celebrating our 14th annual OC Film Fiesta this year. So we're really excited. It's an important year of expansion and growth for us. So I wanted to say that. Secondly, regarding the arts grants, I'm excited to be one of the recipients for a program that we're doing, a video game to encourage voting, and we applied for money from the city to translate it into Spanish and Vietnamese and English. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Keep an eye out for that. But we did not receive funding for our organization, Media Art Santa Ana. So I just want to tell you a little bit more about our organization, because I had a conversation with Tram before the grants asking if there were any media arts related panelists. And she said, no, there's not. And I don't think there generally are. And I think that sets organizations such as ours that do innovative work at a disadvantage. To give you an idea of the kind of work we do screenings, workshops, discussions, one-on-one professional development, and all kinds of wonderful things. So I don't know if any of you have been to our space on 17th and Main, but I invite you all to come visit, but to give you some of the success stories of the kind of work we do, whether it's working on an event like Dia del Nino, which has 9,000 people, or one-on-one professional development. One of our people that we helped won one of the state fellowship grants. One of our students who was a youth back in the day, 10 years ago, is now an Imagineer. We had one student, Santiago Chamu, when we taught at a continuation school, that we saw his name in the paper several years later, that he was arrested. And so this is interesting. So we saw that he was arrested for stealing video equipment. And so it was a really nice article. And it said that the judge asked him, why are you stealing video equipment? Because you could steal anything. And he just thought it was weird. So he wanted to ask him. And Santiago said, I took a video class when I was in the continuation school. And now I'm a single father, or I'm a father. I don't have many prospects. I knew that if I had video equipment, I could at least make a living. And so the judge was lenient with him. I think he gave him probation rather than jail time. And that's the kind of work we do. That's the impact of the work that we do, the investment that we make in the community, whether it's an individual or a lot of people, people are transformed by our programs. And another item that I'd like to just point out that is another badge of honor, not bragging, just excited about it, is that 4 of the 11 individual artists who are receiving grants today got professional development from us. So that's the impact that you see from Media Arts Santa Ana throughout the city. So as we come before you guys for funding in the future, just to understand that and to really give a leg up to media arts and digital arts. In our proposal that we submitted to the city, we pointed out an Otis study statistic that said that $300 billion are generated by performing arts, which is music, acting, digital, editing, video, set design, animation, and that 30 billion are generated by fine arts, performing in fine arts. So the impact that the digital arts and the multimedia arts have for the potential of the city, of its youth and its future are tremendous. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Recording Secretary, are there any additional public comments? Thank you. This is the time for the commission to consider matters under the consent calendar, item number 1. Do I have a motion to consider item number 1?
I move.
Thank you, Commissioner Russell. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Lopez Guerra. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the matter is approved by unanimous consent. We are moving to our business calendar. We have one item under the business calendar, item number 2, investing in the artist grant recommendations for the fiscal year 2023-24. I'll turn that over to Shram.
Thank you, Chair McNair. Good evening, commissioners. So exciting news is that the grant panelists just met last week. They went over about 38 applications and they approved 22 applications from there, 23, I'm sorry. Yeah, so not bad in terms of ratio of awarding applicants. I do have to make a clarification publicly. I know I had said there was going to be $400,000 available for granting, but 75,000 of that had to go into administrative fees. So we're left with really 325. However, last round, somebody had to pull out and withdraw. So there's that funding, still a little bit of funding from last round that we added to this round, bringing the total up to $332,500. So that was the total amount that the panel had to work with to distribute. And another clarification is that we do include artists on the panel. There's actually a mix of all kinds of folks related to the arts field. So art educators, art administrators, artists, practicing artists, all kinds. And that's so that there's different kinds of perspectives looking at all the proposals. And And so we're gonna start with the first in 11 individual artists that were approved. If you can look at the screen, and then I'm gonna read out the description. I will also send you all a description if you'd like. I know it's not in the staff report directly, but I'm gonna read it out and I'll send it to you separately. So the first recipient is, and we awarded the panelists awarded the individual artists first to give them priority because, they're the ones that tend to have less resources in the organizations. So, and they got full funding for whatever they asked for. So that's actually a first in all the history of doing this artist grant, that every single person who applied got exactly what they asked for. So, oh no, I'm sorry. I have to take that back. In terms of individual artists, the organizations we had to, because of funding limitations, we did have to deduct just a little bit evenly across the board. And we'll see that as we get to it. So the first person is Jose Mascaro. He received 96.6 out of 100. And his project is Corridos Santaneros, collaborates with a local historian to create original songs that recount significant events, figures, and locations in Santa Ana's past. Performing these corridos during art walks and art historically significant sites using authentic storytelling, dynamic mariachi compositions, and community engagement, Corridos Santaneros empowers Santa Ana residents to connect with their heritage, fostering a sense of pride, unity, and cultural appreciation. And forgive me, please bear with me as I read each description, even though I know you can read for yourself, but this is for the public. Second recipient is Jasmine Young Lynch. And I also do want to say that out of the 11 individual artists that received funding, 8 of them are very first time recipients of this particular grant, and actually of any grant from the city. So these are amazing strides that we've made in terms of opening up more, reaching out to more folks, lowering barriers so that people can feel empowered to apply. And also with help with folks like Masa, who help mentor and guide them through. Okay, second recipient is Jasmine Young Lynch with a score of 94.2. Creating from the Heart aims to improve community wellness by breaking stigmas around mental health through free healing art classes that aims to exemplify the way in which art practices can intersect with healing while creating avenues to a more well-rounded and balanced lifestyle. Additionally, this program seeks to make fine arts more accessible by offering opportunities for aspiring artists to grow professionally. Furthermore, this project aims to serve families who have been affected by traumas like poverty, immigration, incarceration, or homelessness. These are actually directly from their projects that I've taken these. So I've only edited for brevity. Okay, third recipient is Stephen Homestead. He received 92.2. In connection, his description for his project, in connection with Santa Ana's Downtown Neighborhood Association, Be My Neighbor is a community created work that gathers people of all ages to art tables where they create and trade a house drawing with a neighbor who paints it with watercolor. The house images then get surrounded in gold paint before they go up on the wall. The project guides people to create, release, connect, and honor all in the context of community as they create a vibrant neighborhood. Fourth recipient is Priscilla Hernandez. She received 92 out of 100. Her project is both the 12th International Women's Day Festival and the 8th Art and Culture Festival will be held at the Calle Cuatro Plaza in downtown Santa Ana. Both events consist of workshops, discussions, speakers, live music by local singers and bands, poets, and art and handmade items vendors. Workshops are held by local artists and experts with topics such as ceramics, paper making, sketchbooking, painting, herbal remedies, aromatherapy, yoga, pre-Hispanic music, instrument making, and art activities for kids, many of them bilingual. The workshops are actually bilingual in English and Spanish, and they're for all genders and all ages. The fifth recipient is Sakina Ibrahim. She received a score of 90.8. Her project is Bailar Desde Corazon, is an inspiring cultural arts initiative that aims to promote civic engagement and performance while focusing on the heritage and history of Afro-Mexican culture. As an artist, I intend to work with marginalized youth in Santa Ana using educational choreography to explore Africanist aesthetics in traditional and indigenous dance practices and discover elements that originate from African roots that have been adapted and transformed into Mexican art forms. The sixth recipient is Lorna Manapat, 87, her score is 87.2. Never have I ever painted from art kit to exhibit transforms children, family, and older adults into artists overnight with a simple swipe of the brush. The secret sauce lies in painting with templates, eliminating the frustration of drawing and allowing individuals to focus solely on the joyful act of painting. This groundbreaking project extends beyond Santa Ana College, reaching out to senior centers and residents of the Santa Ana Arts Collective, or SAC apartments. Emerging artists and SAC families converge with professional artists in the afternoon of tea and an art exhibition, activating the SAC makerspace. And recipient number 7 is Victor Payan. His score is 83.6. Award-winning artist Victor Payan will partner with OC game developers Tilted Shed Studios to create an online video game encouraging voter participation in Santa Ana called Democracy in America. The game will launch in Santa Ana in July 2024 and will roll out nationally with free online play through the November 5th, 2024 general election. This innovative interactive project has received $50,000 in funding from the California Arts Council, California Creative Core Fellowship, and we are applying for funding to provide English, Spanish, and Vietnamese versions of the game to augment production and to promote the game widely to Santa Ana voters. The 8th recipient is Skeeth DeWine. He received a score of 82.2. Skeeth DeWine's first film documentary project is about the LGBTQ POC Santa Ana skateboard collective called Skate in Santa Ana. This project will focus on how a group of LGBTQ girls created Santa Ana's first LGBTQ skateboard group and meetups, changing perceptions of LGBTQ skateboarders. It aims to gain attention for them regarding issues of equity, equality, and human rights as the 2028 Olympics arrive in California. As skateboarding is a growing global industry, will any member of the Skate in Santa Ana become the next sports business people with unique brands? The 9th recipient is Stephanie Miles. She received a score of 80.6. The creation, her project description is the creation of a collaborative mural located at Main and 20th Street, a strategic gateway to the Santa Ana Triangle neighborhood, with the intention of being a stake in the ground to rally around the youth, families, and businesses in the area and bring an increasing sense of pride in community and beauty to an otherwise underserved neighborhood. And 10th recipient is Michelle Wright. She received a score of 77. Her project is Pour Your Art Out Artique workshops. Will be 2 hands-on workshops that are free to the public ages 15 or over, teaching acrylic paint pouring techniques to Santa Ana's underserved low-income community so they can create pieces of artwork and the community can build a network of artists. Located in Ward 5, the workshops will take place in the makerspace area in the Santa Ana Arts Collective, or SAC. And finally, for the individual artists, the 11th recipient is Peggy Iriarte. Her score is 75.8. Her project description is collaborating with the community of Santa Ana. I will create a beautiful community interactive ceramic and glass mosaic mural next to the Callejon de los Besos on 3 consecutive art walks held on the first Saturday of the month. This will be an opportunity to release any sorrow in the process of making this mosaic mural with broken pieces of ceramic and glass tile. We are all broken inside, but when we gather in community, we can heal and create magic together. So that's all the individual artists. I'm going to move on to the 12 arts organizations. The first one is the Frida Cinema with a score of 95.2. The Frida Cinema will enhance audience participation and increase attendance at downtown Santa Ana First Saturday Art Walk, a free 4-hour evening event that takes place monthly in downtown Santa Ana. The event increases access to multidisciplinary arts for more than 4,000 monthly attendees and increases visibility for a diverse array of local artists and art galleries. Core Art Walk components include open gallery tours, live entertainment stages, buskers, art demonstrations, local artist vendor village, and participatory art activities. The event also serves as an economic generator for area small businesses who receive increased foot traffic during and after Art Walk. The next recipient is the Vietnamese American Arts and Letters Association. Their score is 94.6. The description of their project is starting in 2003 with an audience of several hundred in auditoriums at the UC Irvine and UCLA campuses. Viet Film Fest, VIF, now draws an annual online and in-person attendance of over 4,000 people. It is the only international film festival with the mission of celebrating Vietnamese voices in cinema. Situated in the largest Vietnamese community outside of Vietnam, the festival features films by persons of Vietnamese descent or productions that focus on the Vietnamese experience. Through the universal language of cinema, Viet Film Fest celebrates our communities by bringing together a multiplicity of perspectives and voices. The next recipient is Orange County School of the Arts Foundation. Their score is 92.6. The Orange County School of the Arts, OSHA Foundation, seeks to host a free community festival that celebrates the arts and is targeted towards Santa Ana children ages 5 through 10. This first-time event will be highly engaging and inclusive for children of all abilities, featuring live performances by OSHA students and interactive arts booths. The festival will be held on our campus, produced by OSHA staff and run by OSHA students. Our goal is to open our campus to more community members and help young children find a creative spark that will inspire them to continue their artistic journey. Next recipient is Breath of Fire Latina Theater Ensemble with a score of 91.00. And of all the recipients of the 12, 10 of them are brand new. So that's a lot too. Never received grants from the city before. Okay, so sorry, Breath of Fire's project description is Cantos, Cuentos, and Corridos of Santa Ana. Is a musically driven theatrical reimagining of the untold stories of the people and the history of Santa Ana through community engagement activities like storytelling circles, writing workshops, and collaborative partnerships with the Relámpago del Cielo, Pacific Symphony, A People's Guide to Orange County, and students of Santa Ana High School. The projects will collect stories that showcase our community's creative spirit. Up to 15 or more cantos, cuentos, and corridos developed through the process will be selected by the organization that will stage the work of past, current, and new Santa Ana writers. Next recipient is the Wayward Artist with a score of 90.4. After a successful youth summer theater camp in June 2023, the Wayward Artist would like to expand our TYA, or Theater for Young Audiences program, in 2024, focusing specifically on the underserved youth in the Santa Ana community. We believe that our 3-phase program will provide opportunities for engagement in the creative process, as young members of the Santa Ana community will not only learn acting, dancing, and singing skills, but also props, costumes, scenery, and technical aspects of theater production. Next recipient is Artesia Pilar Neighborhood Association with a score of 87.6. Led by community leaders and artists from the Artesia Pilar neighborhood, the La Raza Mural Restoration Project will revitalize 5 legacy murals along Civic Center Street that were originally painted in 1991. Our project seeks to re-engage our neighborhood youths and families by creating new opportunities for muralists, specifically Santa Ana youths, and restoring a community mural through meaningful engagement that is interactive and educational. I'm sorry, I got stuck in like how 1991 makes something legacy. I feel so old if that's a legacy, but anyway, I digress. Next recipient, Orange County Educational Arts Academy with a score of 86.5. A Reflection of Me is an arts and literary project focusing on culture and community development through literacy and performance. Students will explore choreography, short stories, poems, and reflective literature genres to express how stories shape us, challenge us to face personal obstacles, and find connections with others who share similar struggles within our community. Through community engagement classes and workshops, students will overcome challenges in literacy and spark honest conversations about the importance of identity and culture. By affirming cultural identity through literature and creative expression, students will gain confidence and positive emotional path. Next recipient is Backhouse Dance with a score of 83.4. Backhouse Dance, Orange County's award-winning contemporary dance company, is in partnership with Santa Ana's historic and cultural gem, the Bowers Museum, present Glow Brillo, a new innovative 6-week creative dance residency. Glow Brillo features choreography of a new site-specific work where Santa Ana residents and the community are invited to join the professional dancers during a weekly open rehearsals at no cost. For the free culminating event, all are invited to the Bowers for an intergenerational dance workshop, the world premiere performance of Glow Brillo, and a fun dance party with the company members. Next recipient is Cooperación Santa Ana with a score of 82.6. Cooperación Santa Ana will facilitate 2 participatory community artist events in collaboration with nonprofit organization partners Thrive Santa Ana and Crazy Urban Farms. The interactive arts event will promote the theme of cooperation and what it means to the residents of Santa Ana. The events will connect community members to create artwork alongside local, regional, and international artists to amplify the messages of cooperation and collectivism. Next recipient is Showtime Ballet Company with a score of 82.4. The second annual Santa Ana Nutcracker Ballet will include 2 ticketed performances at the Santa Ana High School Theater, a free performance at Plaza Calle Cuatro, and a performance at Santa Ana High School with free tickets given to Girl Scout troops, Boys and Girls Clubs, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and/or foster children with the Orangewood Foundation. Each free performance will include a meet and greet with the dancers after the show. Next recipient is Lyric Opera of Orange County with a score of 82.2. Lyric Opera of Orange County presents Hansel and Gretel by Humperdinck in an original Spanglish translation at the Yost Theater in Santa Ana. Director Diana Farrell will collaborate with SAUSD music teachers, inviting 14 students to join the children's chorus and reserve 450 free tickets for Santa Ana residents and SAUSD music departments. Additionally, each of these tickets represents a non-perishable canned food item that will be donated to a local Santa Ana food pantry. And the final recipient for under the arts organization category is Orange County Center for Contemporary Art. Their score is 81.2. The Orange County Center for Contemporary Art, or OCA, seeks to enhance the Santa Ana Art Walk through enhancing the opening receptions for art exhibitions. OCA wants to hire local musicians, dancers, local food vendors, and caterers that will be paid by this grant. OCA will sponsor a Santa Ana pop-up community art event in December 2024 and ask local talents of all ages to display their art. OCA hopes these enhancements will encourage more local artists to visit and possibly join the OCA Artist Membership. The ongoing art education program will offer 4 hands-on classes on contemporary art. So with the arts organizations, we had to deduct 0.3% of their asking funds so that the rest of the money would be distributed evenly among them. And that's it. So does any commissioner have any questions? And then of course, there's the list of, there is the list of the applicants who were not recommended by the panel. And that's listed already in your staff report. So, and it's up there. So I'm not going to go through and read it. That's for you to.
I have, first and foremost, congratulations. It seems like a very good representation of some of the offerings we have. I have a couple of things. The first one, I'm going to start with something that's just very personal to me. I struggle with the language we often use to identify our community, and I'm really struggling with the word underserved. I know that there are limited resources in our community, but moving forward, if when we engage in these conversations, we can use more of an asset perspective and more of an enhancing rather than looking at that just, as someone who was born and raised here, I really struggle with that. So I need to make that public. I'm very excited to learn more, to experience, and to make sure that there's equity of access throughout our entire community, because just because it's corridos, I don't want someone who's from a Hispanic background. Just because it's a Vietnamese, I don't want, I think there's so much richness in people getting to experience the diversity of this. So if we could, and I can help with this, find a space and place where this can be readily accessible, where these events, these opportunities, these experiences are open to everyone, that would make my heart very happy, because I think that's what we're trying to do, elevate art and make it accessible to all of us, because it fills the heart. So thank you, but congratulations, very thorough work. And I just love to see the diversity, and I really appreciate the transparency and the opportunity for new people to express their light. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Lopez Guerra. But it's true, we had an excellent panel this year, actually, I have to say. Really great just discussion and feedback. And it was a difficult year. There was a lot of really great ideas and projects. To your point about the, making sure that things are not in that silos of, well, because you're Vietnamese Film Festival. And that's the whole point of why I think the panel recognized that, and because they're going to have it here in Santa Ana in the Frida Cinema. So it's, it's to welcome folks who would just be passing by, like, what is this? And same with the corridos, they're walking through Art Walk. And I believe Breath of Fire is also engaging all of that community and introducing them to this idea of corridos and what does that mean, and then connecting everybody. So, but you're right, and we work hard to integrate more.
As one of the panelists, I can attest to the really deep and critical conversations we had, especially toward the end when we were making those final decisions, and really looking at the contributions and that these organizations and artists would be making to the community, thinking about the diversity. I know, we talked about, the Urban Farm Project and the bilingual opera, and, the Vietnamese Film Festival, dance, songwriting. I mean, we really felt like the projects that we selected represented the widest range of medium and also just bringing kind of new ideas and new thinking. And then just as a reminder, the focus for anyone who was not granted this time was really on that interactive component. And we took that very seriously. So if you said you were going to host workshops, we wanted to see what those workshops were going to be. We wanted to know how you were thinking about engaging with the community. It wasn't enough just to say, we're going to do that. We really looked at the details about what that would look like. And so I hope future applicants will also take whatever theme we present as seriously.
Any other questions or comments? Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, I just wanted to say that that was a lot to read. So you did phenomenal there. Yeah, not one skip in your beat. So, yeah, I just want to commend staff, of course, you, Tram, and all of the panelists that were involved. I know that's a lot of different, proposals that need to go, and I know that the people that are on this panel are thorough and are really looking deep into it. So I had a couple questions. So just because I don't know who gets to choose how many are on a panel and who's on the panel.
Yes. What we've been doing is people have been either offering, to be on the panel, and really it's just staff kind of putting together to make sure that it's balanced, to make sure that there's representation in terms of, I'm going to say gender for lack of, words, but I try to be as inclusive as possible in that, and art fields, art genres, so that there's musicians and, different kinds of folks on there, visual artists, and from different areas too. So as I mentioned earlier, outside of Santa Ana, and so that we're not just in our silo, and making excuses for each other, like there's somebody objectively looking at these proposals. And so, yeah, so it's really staff looking at to balance it.
Okay, thank you. And this is a grant, or just here's the money and do what you said you were going to do? Oh,
no, this is a grant. So
Okay.
I go through me and Arnett will sit down, go through all the paperwork. We have a one-on-one orientation that we schedule with each recipient. So each of these folks I read here, we will schedule a meeting with them, go through all the paperwork, what they're responsible for in terms of reimbursements for receipts and invoices. It's a reimbursement grant. So we give them some money up front to start their project, but then after that, they have to give us receipts. Ultimately, they have to give us receipts for all of it. And then also what else, like reports and photos, things like that we require them to give us at the end. And also acknowledging that the money came from the city of Santa Ana through the Revive program. They need to include that logo in their social media or wherever they do any kind of marketing. So we go through all of that, insurance, we go through all of that with them. And but also going back to the panel, I do ask many of you, maybe the new commissioners, I didn't get a chance to ask you, but some of you I did ask if you'd like to put anybody on this panel, please let me know. And I keep a running record of, of who is being nominated. And then I do reach out to them and whether or not they're available. So that's another thing, availability to be on this panel is another factor.
It was a full day.
Yes.
A full day of evaluating.
And that's just the day of, but then before that, they had to read and we also do an orientation for submittable for new folks who don't know how to navigate the portal. And also what our criteria is, what is the rubric for folks who don't know and who don't know Santa Ana particularly? What are we looking for as a city?
Absolutely. That's great. Thank you for that explanation. And I guess it's for myself, but also, members of the audience who just, or from residents that might not understand, the ins and outs of the process and what is to be expected from them. And then you said there's going to be a report that will be available for the commission to review.
Yes.
Afterwards. And are these events then promoted by you or the city in any way?
We do, because it is being, partly funded by the city. We include them in our social media posts. So I usually collect like, when is your final event? What are your workshop dates? And then we use that to gauge how we can promote. And usually if they're promoting it, then we share it. So we
Great.
encourage them to promote it and then yeah.
Absolutely, because I have seen the newsletter Cosas. something, right?
Exactly.
And that's just really a great tool to find out what's happening in our city. What a lot of times, if we're not following pages, we might not know. So that's good.
Exactly.
My last question is around and the revive money. So this is COVID
Yeah.
funds,
Mhm.
and so this amount of funds then will not be available moving forward.
Correct.
So this is
This
one times fund. And so then, but there are grant money, but not as much as it is, as
Correct.
it was this time around.
Mhm.
What is the usual amount?
It used to be 70,000. I know. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine that number anymore, but I think moving forward, it's very positive. I think we will be getting more than 70 in the future. Yeah, for artist grants, even though it may not be as high as what ARPA was giving us.
And perhaps those are things that we can work on with our council members and folks that, to advocate for these kinds of funds, because given how many amazing organizations that, have done a great work in this city can continue to do these efforts. So thank you, everybody, and congratulations to those that won, that got the funding. I'm looking forward to seeing them. Thank you.
Yeah. And also with the larger amount, we're able to give them their full funding. So they're able to complete more in their project.
Any other comments from other commissioners? I'll just add my 2 cents. I echo the sentiments of what has been expressed and congratulate the recipients. It is very exciting that we have these opportunities right now to help organizations launch these experiences. I feel like the climate is so ripe for people wanting to come back in person and commune and connect with each other. And this is a great opportunity for the city to launch the arts, and they are definitely an economic engine for our city and driving community connection. And I love seeing the diversity of what was awarded, that we are considering dance and theater, visual and media arts, and music of all kinds, and literary arts, and more. So this is very exciting. And I hope that we can leverage what we're doing here to continue the work that we started, trying to get the economic impact of the arts and culture in Santa Ana to help inform our city council and per annum to reflect to them what it is that we're doing and the impact that it's having at large, so we can continue to generate more economic support at a grander scale, showing this happening. I'm also very excited that there's so many opportunities and consideration from all ages and that there's intergenerational things and a big focus on youth and opportunities. So I'm very excited about those things. And I do look forward from hearing from the Lyric Opera of Orange County, who plans to be connected me as SAUSD Arts, all the music departments. So that's very exciting news to me that they're going to be reaching out. So, and all of the things where we can connect students and youth to these many opportunities and experiences. So thank you, Tram, for all this hard work. Thank you to those who are on the panel. And it is a big commitment, and I'm grateful to see the work that's happening. So thank you, everybody, for that. Okay, thank you. No worries. So I guess what we're asking for is approval of this recommendation to go forward as outlined by Tram to approve the awards that have been specified. So do I have a motion?
I motion.
Thank
I
you.
second.
Okay, there you go. Is there any further discussion? All right.
Oh, just one thing.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Tram, can we get a list of all the events and dates that are funded by this?
Yes, as soon as I get after the orientation meeting, yes, I'll try to I always put together one, so yes. Make a note of that.
Okay, any further discussion? I know that all the applicants made the judging very hard. So we look forward to continuing to wrestle with these beautiful decisions that we get to make. So hearing no further discussion, calling for a vote, Madam Recording Secretary.
So all those in favor said aye.
Aye.
Discussion, nothing, thank you.
Right.
Pass.
Thank you. All right, moving on to staff member comments. Tram, it's you again.
Well, thank you, commissioners, for passing that. So on to the next big funding, which actually involves all of you, is the Arts and Culture Special Events Sponsorship Program. Exciting. The next deadline is September 11th. I know when we had talked about this before, we were hoping for around here in August, but it was just too soon. It would have given them literally like a few days to apply, and then you'd have to read it. It was too close of a crunch. So we had to push it to September. So September 11th is the deadline, and then it will be the Monday before your meeting for all the months after that, okay? In order to give you time to read it. So it's gonna be a kind of a crunch when it comes to that. And I will need a lot of your input in me very soon so that I can compile it. We'll have it ready for your meeting. So on that note, I'm asking everybody to please stay afterwards so we can schedule an orientation. Let's see, I think that's it, but I just want to mention that Masa Smart Walk was funded last year through this program, through the sponsored program, and now they've been able to grow. So I think that's how important these kind of programs are, is to help give them that boost, get them started, to make it, to keep it going. I think that's all the comments I have.
Thank you. And to your point, we are funding seed money for organizations to find sustainable practices, because we know grants aren't one-time funds and can't rely on them every year. So looking at that sustainable piece is important. Do the commissioners have any additional comments that they wish to share?
I just want to make just one more comment actually about the grants, and I believe it might, correct me if I'm wrong, it pertains to the sponsorships as well. But the other piece that the panel took very seriously were the letters or testimonials from people who were impacted by the arts events. So when we saw that, investing in an organization or an artist really had an impact on people's lives, because there were testimonial letters, not just this person's a great, reliable artist, they'll use the funds well, but really people speaking from the heart and saying this, really affected my life or changed my life. Those kinds of pieces really brought in it increased our enthusiasm for the applications for sure. So I just very much encourage, if you're not already talking to people who attend your events or in your workshops and asking them to provide testimonials, please do that. Because otherwise we're just basing it on, you know, very superficial kinds of details of information, but those testimonials really matter a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Okay. I wanted to say first and foremost, what an honor it is to have such a diverse group of artists coming forward. Thank you to the staff. Thank you to my colleagues who gave so much of their time to go through such detailed process. Again, I was out last month and I have to be out next month because my daughter's moving into college. So I want to make sure that that's very public so you know I'm not out. But I wanted to highlight this wonderful opportunity I had as part of the National Hispanic Business Association. I was invited as a president to attend the sisterhood signing between Saguayo and Santa Ana, and it was such an honor. I want to be very clear that we went on our own time and our own dime, if you will, because there's different comments. And I was so excited on that behalf and as a community member, not a committee member, to partake in a couple of panels. One of the things I wish you would all have been there with me because the art was something else. And we met so many Santa Ana residents because one of the reasons that the signing happened, and I'm from Jalisco, so this is, if you know Jalisco and Michoacan, they normally don't get along. But one of the murals, so what the mayor there is doing is creating murals in communities that haven't had that. He's beautifying the city, right? But one of the muralists is from Santa Ana. I did not know this. I have to show you all a picture, but they're coming in mid September and they really want to have, and they have funding to support in sisterhood murals and things like that. So I'm going to be leaning on Tramp to make sure we're not breaking any brown or whatever, but I really want to leverage how we're doing this binational cultural art collaboration because I think it's going to be so important. They're going to be bringing masks, and I want to say, and please, anyone who knows this, forgive me, tlahualiles, which are these beautiful masks. They're coming over. They've gone to Irvine, they've gone to other places, but now this is going to be home. So I really hope once I get to the calendar of events, and I know it's going to be mostly done by the city, I'm going to ask Tramp to help us so that we can attend because I think it's the first time in the history of that over 400-year-old city and our history in Santa Ana that each one individually has signed a sisterhood. And from what I understand, and don't quote me because this number was given to me, 17% of current Santa Ana residents are either descendants or directly from Saguayo. So this is so important. And I hope that we continue to develop this lifting of our culture, the vibrancy through the arts, because that's where we keep a lot of our history. So I wanted to let you all know that this is in the works, and let's talk to our council members, but let's make sure that we're coming together and celebrating this beautiful art. Thank you.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's very exciting. I love just seeing the explosion of things that are happening to pre-pandemic levels and beyond, the innovation and the shifts that we've had to make, and where the arts are at the center and healing engagements. I feel like these are some of the key components for healing our community and lifting us up, as you said, through the vibrancy, through the arts. I know there's a lot of murals happening in the city, and I'm excited to see these come because I feel like that's also beautifying. We're doing that also in the school district, which is exciting to see. And speaking of that, tomorrow afternoon, we do have a mural unveiling at Fremont Elementary School, where we have restored a very important, significant historical music mural by the artist Sergio Ocadiz, and we worked with local artists, the Artista Coalition, to help make that happen. And so we look forward to hosting everyone to come and experience that mural up close and in person, what it's supposed to look like. There's murals by Sergio here at the city buildings and then throughout the community. So this is a very important, significant event, and we're excited for this unveiling to happen. That said, oh, go ahead.
All right, didn't raise my hand earlier. No, it's okay. I, yeah, once again, congratulations to those that won the, that will receive the funding. That's, just really great that we're able to do this for and promote the beauty and the culture that is Santana and, you know, and being able to fund that, and give it the wind beneath its wings, that it needs a lot of times, you know, and I'm just happy to continue to grow that because those are the kind of proactive solutions that we can provide for youth to get them away from criminality and things that would derail their dreams. So these are the kind of things that we can and should promote, and budget for, as much as, you know, the addressing when it actually happens, the prevention. So I want to say that. I also want to let everybody know that, and I was waiting for the chair to say it, or somebody, but the Chicano Heritage Festival that's coming up on August 27th. Yeah, there's Chicanos on this dais that, yeah, no, but from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at El Salvador Park. So August 27th, that should be fun. I'll be there. Everybody should try to be there. It's going to be a good thing. It was last year, so looking forward to Malo and Tierra Legacy and all these cool bands that will be there. I'll be grooving. All right. Sunday afternoon. Yeah. And lastly, September 9th, the Grupo de Autismo Ángeles, which is my parents, they started an organization 23 years ago for Spanish-speaking parents of children on the autism spectrum. My brother has autism, is on the spectrum, and they're 1 out of every 88 kids that are born in the United States are on the autism spectrum, whether it's ADD, ADHD, Asperger's, or autism with other variants. But and now the new term that's coming about is neurodiverse, which I consider myself one. That before, when I was in school, I couldn't stand still. They tried to put me on medication to calm me down, when in reality, I needed sports, I needed art, I needed all sorts of things to get the creative energy within me out. But so these are the kinds of things that our parents are dealing with here in Santana and all over. So there will be at this event from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Santa Ana Zoo. There will be the Bookmobile, or the Knowledge Mobile, I believe it's called. And all sorts of entertainment and food, and just a safe place to be able to provide some respite for parents that can't really go to a park because if it's not fenced in, where this area allows them to relax and being able to support, you know, a good cause, and be able to have all sorts of resources available to them. So that is all my comments. Thank you so much.
The date again?
Had to be September 9th on a Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Santa Ana Zoo.
I really appreciate that you brought that up, Commissioner Hernandez. We were just looking at a video the other day of a student who has been identified with autism, who plays 7 instruments, is a dancer, and all kinds of skill sets. And we often overlook or misjudge the capacities of people, especially when the arts can bring out so much. And I appreciate your inclusive lens, because that's what we're trying to do in being inclusive. So thank you for bringing those things up and mentioning all the other events that I didn't. And there's so many, I want to clone myself. So I'm very excited about the many opportunities, and thank you to this commission for being hyper vigilant in terms of taking care of our community and supporting the artists and being mindful of everyone. That said, are there any further comments?
I believe the autism organization was a recipient of the sponsorship funds last year. So another great example of how that seed funding hopefully brought this opportunity to more and more families here in Santa Ana, and really addressed a need that we don't see a lot of other events or endeavors that are, so I'm really proud that we're able to fund these kinds of opportunities.
Very exciting. All right, I look forward to seeing many of us there and communing with our community. So that said, this meeting is officially adjourned. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for Thursday, September 21st at 5:30 PM.